Hello, Scorpio. You are the birthday human this month. If you happen to feel stressed or annoyed around the 5th, be wise about how you verbalize it if you do. Relationships are emphasized for you in November, and you may have the proverbial rose-colored glasses on when you spot an attractive person. You are also still in a long period of needing to be completely yourself in relationships and perhaps to have some space in them, and chafing if that is not the case. That independent streak can be exaggerated around the 24th. If you've been feeling a bit down on yourself lately, you might want the boost that falling in love can bring. So strive to see people as clearly as possible around the 12th to the 14th, and again on the 27th. You were born with a kind of psychological X-ray vision, Scorpio, so put it to good use. If you're in doubt about someone's motives or trustworthiness, you might ask your most perceptive friend for an opinion. The 19th ushers in about 6 weeks of challenges for you, to your willpower, your assertiveness, and your energy level. You may have to do something that's edgy or difficult for you. Keep your temper. As my fellow astrologer Rob Brezhny says, do no harm and take no guff. A good use of this planetary lineup, as well as a harmless outlet for it, can be found at the gym or outdoors. Take a hike, have an adventure, great or small, and keep right on seeing people clearly. Otherwise, your song could be I Fall in Love Too Easily by Jewel Stein and Sami Khan, and performed here by Chet Baker. Greetings, Sagittarius. This month is about remembering and musing. It may be about some insights or closure, too. In other words, this November, your ongoing quest leads within more than is usual for you. Take some time off from work and, at least temporarily, say no to some committees, groups, or tribes who are used to having you around and may be reluctant to let you go your own way for a few weeks. Give yourself pep talks, lots of them, if you feel hesitant to let yourself slow down a bit. Especially around the 14th, get those paints out of the cupboard. Spend some quality time with your guitar or open your journal. Learn something more about your grandparents and great-grandparents. How did their background affect your parents and eventually affect you? Be gentle with your own family, but not a pushover. Around the 12th, there's a conflict between your responsibilities and your need for downtime. The 26th new moon introduces the influence of Venus, conjoining your ruling planet, Jupiter. And you are likely to feel more social and energetic then. Perhaps you'll have learned something in your reflective time that you'd like to talk about with some close friends, or turn over to your creative side for further processing. Don't hesitate to act on an inspiration there. It will do you good. Your November song is Return Again by Shayna Nall. Salutations to you, Capricorn. On the radio show, A Prairie Home Companion, Garrison Keillor referred to his mythical Lake Wobegon's Catholic Church as Our Lady of Perpetual Responsibility. In your case, for the past few years, you may have felt that your equivalent church would be named something like Our Lady of the Eternally Scheduled, which you have been, and it hasn't always been easy. You're still in a process of deep transformation because of the alchemical alembic of Pluto's passage through Capricorn until approximately early 2023. Expect that alembic to heat up a bit around the 5th, especially in your vocation, and to heat up again near the 26th. Around the 12th, you may need to negotiate about not remaining eternally scheduled. Add the presence of a stationary Neptune, Lord of mysticism, imagination, and inspiration, in your house of communication all month. And what do you have? The downside could be absent-mindedness, miscommunication, or deception. But the upside could be poetry, literally and figuratively. You could distill some eloquence from that alchemical alembic and use it where and as you please. All the changing you've had to do is like grains of sand that abrade an oyster, and the eloquence is like the pearl produced by that abrasion. So think of all the ways that human beings communicate. Do you want to write, compose a song, fetch your camera, give a speech, put something on your blog? How could talking about what you've been through recently be helpful to someone else? Your song this November is Strength, Courage, and Wisdom by India Arya. My fellow Aquarians, the 12th full moon calls your attention to whatever balancing act you might need to do between your public and your private lives, between your family's and background's influence in your life and that of your role in the community or at work. Try assessing your roots and your past and current impact on you with a detached and questioning eye. Take nothing for granted. After the 19th, turn that same dispassionate survey to your job and its demands. Have the courage to make any changes that may be necessary in either area, public or private life, and stick to those changes if they are challenged around the 24th. If you do that, then beginning on the 22nd and definitely by the 26th, you can think less about that balancing act and more about your future. You could come up with some inspiration about where you're going, how to get there, and whom your traveling companions might be. Let yourself hope. Be positive. Consider how your life could improve rather than focusing on what's wrong with it or on what you consider your mistakes. We all make them. You're probably still processing some of yours, particularly around organization, realism, self-sufficiency, and not seeing your own or others' shadow material clearly enough. But beating yourself up about your missteps won't change a thing and may keep you from looking ahead with the optimistic attitude that you need right now. Forgive yourself. Self-compassion is healing. Your song is Shine On by Seth Bernard and May Erlewine. Until I was looking for a video of this song and I checked May's biography, I didn't know that her father is astrologer and musician and friend Michael Erlewine. I'll bet he's very proud of her. Hello Pisceans. All month, and particularly later in November, it's even more important than usual for you to remember that you are both a spiritual being, having physical experiences, and a physical being having spiritual ones. Yes, you are. And you live in both of those states simultaneously. Well, we all do, but one of your life goals is to become and remain more conscious of it than most of us are. Please give yourself more quiet time than usual all month to reflect on that mystery, to center yourself, meditate, visualize, or let your imagination run free. Look for constructing, uplifting ways to attain the kind of altered state that's calming and that helps you remember your dual nature, physical and spiritual. Around the 12th, you may realize that you need a more open mind and more information or experiences in order to clarify what you believe, where your next steps lie, and who might help you take them. Some of those people are pragmatic and hardworking. Some are passionate and intensely aware of the depths of the human psyche. After the 26th, you'll need more gentleness in that mix. Look for it because you're very sensitive to other people and to the emotional atmosphere around you, especially if you are not taking enough time to relax and restore yourself. Also around the 26th, something about your job, your various roles in your community, or both, is ready for new beginnings. what projects there might have an impact on people beyond just you and yours. Your November song is Beyond the Invisible by Enigma. It's time to talk about you, Aries. As the assessment and transformation of your professional and/or community life continues, you may need to face some fears or anxieties, grieve some losses, or rise to some challenges in order to keep moving forward. On the 5th, particularly around the 12th, and again on the 19th and the 24th, you can do it. Support or positive input from others can arrive by the 26th. Yes, there are probably some hoops you need to jump through. People in a position of authority may either be insightful and provide you with some honest feedback, or they may feel threatened by you somehow. Watch how interactions with such people make you feel, which is a more significant piece of information for you just now than what they might say. Until the 22nd, you're probably in a more inwardly focused mood than usual, and that state of mind can help you remain aware of what you're feeling. Your intuition and your capacity to be open to inspiration are getting a boost all month. As long as you stay grounded, it's safe to trust them. If you're in doubt about whether you're being too subjective, talk to someone who has an excellent understanding of the human psyche, some wisdom and emotional intelligence, and no agenda for you. Your November tune is Breathing Underwater by Emily Sandé. Hi there, Taurus. Did you ever play post office when you were a kid? You know, somebody whispers a phrase into the ear of the next child in line, who whispers it to the following kid, and so on, until the phrase reaches the end of the line. By then, the words have almost always become so distorted that they bear no resemblance to the original phrase. Well, Taurus, communication with your friends, significant others, colleagues, or within groups could be easier this month, especially around the 12th. What to do? Say things clearly, loudly, often, and in writing if possible, with multiple copies and lots of follow-up. Check and recheck all details, too. After the 19th, edit what you say for anything that might ruffle somebody's feathers if he or she takes it the wrong way. I realize that going to all this trouble might be annoying, and I'm also aware that this is not the most patient epoch of your life, but I promise that observing due diligence here would be wise in your case. Just do it and roll your eyes later, okay? You could be feeling more subjective or emotional yourself after the 22nd and particularly around the 26th. You'll be happier if you have few or no snafus to untangle then, because you'll want to focus on yourself, your moods, your dreams, and anything large or small that's going bump in your psyche. Your November song is Talk by Coldplay. Hello to all the Geminis out there. Busy, busy, busy. That's you this month. Don't overdo it on the 12th, and keep your cool after the 19th, when the pace may pick up still more for a few months. Keep excellent, well-organized records. If you're confused about what direction your career or vocations are taking you, don't worry. That will become clearer to you over time, because, as they say, more will be revealed. You may learn more from or with good friends who are upbeat, expansive, and have a visionary streak, so be a good listener. Also, you may have some more work to do on yourself before your path becomes more evident to you. What sort of work? At the risk of sounding like Emperor Palpatine in Star Wars, you may need to acknowledge your dark side, but not surrender to it. We all have one. You may need to become more efficient, practical, realistic, and focused. You do well to listen to close friends and partners whom you know have your best interests at heart. even if you aren't thrilled about everything they say. Finally, you may need to fess up about what's really going on in your heart of hearts and what you're saying when you talk to yourself, even if your opinions keep changing. You can do it. Your November song is With a Little Help from My Friends, the Beatles, performed here by Ringo Starr and his all-star band. Hello, Cancer. I have news for you, my friend. Your muse is visiting you this month, and from about the 12th through the 14th, she really wants to have some fun with you and your ever-fertile imagination. I suggest that you make some time to dance with her, Cancer. If you ignore her, it may take longer than usual before she visits again, and besides, you'll have fun too. Goof off, improvise, try some new materials, ideas, or recipes, or take out an unfinished project that's been on your mind. Let things be imperfect. Let yourself be silly. It's just you and your muse, so who cares? By the 22nd, and especially after the 26th, you'll be ready to work with some of the inspirations or whimsies that you've had while you were dancing with your muse. Yes, you can do this and not neglect your primary relationship or your family. In fact, you might even ask them or your friends to lend you a hand, either by giving you some creative solitude or by letting you bounce some ideas off of them, provided you're sure they will be both frank and supportive. Keep critical, negative, or controlling people as far away from you as you can, okay? Is part of you thinking right now, but I can't. There are good reasons why I have to see them sometimes. All right, maybe there are. But you don't have to see the naysayers or the crazy makers or the intentionally helpless people in your life all the time, do you? Your song is Rainbow by Robert Plant, performed here by Robert Plant and the Sensational Space Shifters. Listen to the lyrics. Could they be something your muse might say to you? What do you think? Hello, Leo. It is time for your forecast. And your mission this month, should you choose to accept it, is to humor me right now, please, Leo, and do some free association with your answers to the following questions. What does the word family mean to you? How about the word roots? And finally, improvise some answers to the question, where are you coming from? Take your time. Write it down. Your family was there when you started out in life at such a tender age that you were entirely open to their influence. And for a long time, your family was your reality. As adults, we can understand ourselves better through thinking deeply and frequently about that influence. It helped mold you, but it is not the entirety of who you are, and sometimes it's not the entirety of who your core self wants you to be. Remember all of that around the 12th. Get out what you wrote, read it over several times, and think about it. Then, after the 22nd, read it again, and add whatever you want to add. Again, take your time. Going through the last part of this process will help you be and feel more like your true self. Now, you'll like this part, Leo. After all that soul-searching, you could use some fun. And the 26th is a great day both to play and to figure out how to take more time for playing through the end of the year. Your November tune is Old Man by Neil Young. Hello to you, Virgo. Let's give you a nice, organized Virgo list of things to keep in mind this month, okay? Item 1, do some thinking about the difference between facts and opinions, especially yours, and about how you can tell the difference. Item 2, don't chicken out about standing up for yourself if necessary, or you could beat yourself up later about not having done. On the other hand, review item 1 and make sure that you really need to be assertive. Item 3, while it is unusual to find you wearing rose-colored glasses, please be very sure that you don't have any on when you're looking at your counselors, significant others, or family members. Remember how these people usually carry themselves, and if something about their behavior strikes you as odd or different, pay close attention to what's actually happening with them now, today. Item 4, try not to overwork and do your best to avoid or put off any extra or demanding projects, because you'll need more time to yourself after the 22nd. Your song is Would I Lie to You, Eurythmics. I looked for a video without a storyline at the beginning, but I couldn't find another whose visual and audio quality was up to this one. Also, watch Annie Lennox peeling the paint off the walls here. What a performance. No wonder Eurythmics uploaded it as their official video for this song. And the music starts at 59 seconds into it. Greetings to you, Libra. Mars, the planet which rules courage, drive, and assertiveness, but does not rule Libra, is traveling through your sign until the 19th. Before then, the full moon on the 12th highlights the areas of self-confidence, self-esteem, shadow work, and deep self-knowledge for you. Translation, I suspect that you are braver than you think you are, and that you might do well to act that way this month too. Braver about what, you might be wondering? Well, there are several possibilities. Perhaps it will be about taking care of yourself and defending your turf. Maybe it's in the context of a passionate relationship or in therapy. It might be with a family member. Whichever it is, please step up to the plate and hit a home run, Libra. It will be easier for you to do this if you spend some time becoming crystal clear about what are and are not your responsibilities at work, at home, and elsewhere, especially around both the 14th and the 24th. Do that, and guess what could happen? You might very well free up some of your precious time to go do something that fascinates you and gets you thinking, possibly something that you've never done before. Enjoy it. And listen to your song this month. It is Fight Song by Rachel Platten.